Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I'm Neha Vadone studying in class 11. So this video is going to be a Q&A session wherein I'll be answering to all the questions that I had received in the comment section for my previous video. Hello, please make a video on 24-hour study vlog or timetable for preparation of board exam. And you had suffered your last exam paper for English passage. Will this time the English passage be hard or easy with respect to passage? Okay, so as I had mentioned earlier, I am not a timetable person. I can never follow a timetable. I gave it many tries. I tried making timetables and following it. It was never possible from my side. So it depends. If you are a timetable person, try dividing your time according to subjects that you feel difficult and subjects that you find easy. See, you shouldn't study two difficult subjects on a single day. Like suppose you find maths hard and you find science hard too. And if you sit to study both of those, you'll get stressed out and you won't be able to study anymore. So instead of doing that, what you can do is take one chapter from maths, one chapter probably from English or Hindi or Kannada, and then try merging those both subjects in one day and studying those. Try doing alternate subjects every day so that you don't get bored studying a single subject. Keeping yourself interested and in good mood is very important. Now, keeping yourself in good mood doesn't mean you louse around every time. Giving yourself change in subjects, or if you're really tired of studying, take up some storybooks or watch a movie for some time, and after that, go back to studying. If you take a break, doesn't mean that is the end of studying period. No. So, study, have a break, come back to studying again, keep your mind fresh, and create your own timetable if you wish to follow a timetable. Just keep in mind not to put two difficult subjects on a single day. And what was the question? English passage. So yes, term 1 English passage, we cannot describe it in words. The first time I took my question paper and I read the passage, I was like, this is the end of my paper. I won't be able to score anywhere above 80%. But it had some controversies later and we were awarded some grace marks for that. But the term 2 passages that we got were very easy. It was just like reading a storybook. It was even easier than NCERT, to be frank. The chapters in your English book seem confusing, but the passage that was in the term 2 board exam, it was very easy. And for this, you can take up many resources like reference books, and even on the internet you have many passages. Search for class 10 CBSE English passages and try solving all those passages. Like even if you're reading 2 passages per day right from now, by the time you're giving your board exam, you'll already have covered so many types of passages which will include all the topics. And again, saying the same thing, if you have practiced and you know what it is, you won't find anything new in the exam. And one thing that happened to me was that in our school, we used to get very difficult English passages. And because of that, I started thinking that yes, this is the standard of passages and it is going to be difficult, so I need to practice. I used to score not very high in the passages in school. I used to lose 1 or 2 marks here and there. And that was where I started improving myself. And when you study difficult things at your school, score less over there, no problem. But when you go to board exam, what happened with me was I was literally looking at my question paper and laughing in the exam hall. I studied so hard. I gave so many difficult exams at school, and why is the question paper so easy? Like, this was my reaction when I saw the paper. If you practice, it's very easy, and practicing passages is the only way, because it happens that you get it on the spot. You can't actually have any previous practice like you can do for chapters. So try reading various topics. And okay, so I'd like to give you some tips on how to tackle the passage questions, because mostly I see that passages and grammar is where everyone loses the marks. And because of following these steps, I was able to score 100 in English too. So what I used to do is I used to always keep the passage for the last. I never wrote the English passage answers first. I always start with literature, then I go to grammar, writing section, and then I come to the passage. Because reading passage, it consumes your time. And in the beginning, when you have a fresh mind, you can write better answers. Like the literature part, you know the answers, you have a fresh mind, you have fresh hands, you can write properly. But at that time, if you start reading the passage, your mind is very analytical at that moment. So even if there is a simple sentence that's answering the question, you will try looking beyond it. You will be like, no, the possibility can be like this, you can analyze it like that, this. Your mind starts to get confused. You start over analyzing the passage, and even that can cause to giving wrong answers, but also it wastes a lot of your time. So that is why keeping passage towards the end is better for me, because at the last, when you have quite a little bit of time left in your hands, you just read so fast and you get the proper answers too. That's what I did. And even when you're reading the passages, read the questions first, and after reading the questions, go to the passage. Now there are similar words that come in the question and in the passage. So if you find anything similar, underline it and mark it. Even you can do this during the time that is given before writing the exam, the 15 minutes that are provided, and that mark where the question, where the answer is, because if you find some similar words, that probably is the answer. So that will save a lot of your time. And what I had noticed is, if you copy paste the same sentence that's given in the passage, the examiner won't give you full marks for it. Just take the sentence and try rephrasing it. Use similar words, no problem, but maybe jumble it here and there and express your opinion in it. Just don't copy and paste the same thing. And yes, don't worry, the passage is going to be totally easy. Definitely, yes. So the next question is from Humaira. Does our pre-board marks count? And for social science, should we read the books line to line, or is it okay if we just use the reference books? Okay, so here, if you mean that the pre-board marks count in the internals or something, no, they don't. The internals just depend on your project works, assignments, behavior, and something like that. And if you mean it like, does it affect us somehow? Yes, they do. Because, pre-boards are a way of judging yourself. Look, exams are to judge yourself. Nobody else judges you based on your marks or something. When you give exams, you know what you've prepared for. Sometimes even I feel that yes, I've completed this chapter. There is nothing that I have left. I go and give the test on that, I lose marks somewhere. Then I realize that yes, there are things in which I'm losing marks and I'm not totally perfect in that certain topic. So when you, like, the pre-boards come just before the boards, and at that time you feel, yes, I have prepared for my boards and probably I'll score good. You go to the pre-boards, you score well, congratulations, amazing. But if you don't, there's no need to be upset about it and get demotivated, saying that if I can't score good in pre-boards, what will I do in boards and all? Well, you have learned where you're going wrong, and that is the most valuable experience anyone can ever get. So just take your pre-board papers, set and analyze where you're going wrong, which topics aren't you understanding. Go to your teachers, make that doubts get cleared. And there are some questions that you get stuck in, and no matter how hard you practice, you just get stuck at one particular point. That is because you don't know what to do ahead of that. In maths and physics, when you solve something, you know that there is a certain procedure to do it, and if you know the procedure, you can easily do it. But if you've memorized the answer from the notebook and say, yes, I will write this step, then this step comes next, this step, you'll forget it. So better is that you go to your teachers, understand why this certain step is coming after this, and why exactly are we doing this. So if you know the reason, you won't fail to write that step in the exam. And for social science, reading books line to line, well, definitely yes, you will have to read it line to line, but that should be done like 1 or 2 months before your exams. Like, what do I mean by reading it line to line? Is it just taking your book, reading like this? No. Reading line to line means understanding each and everything that's written in there. Like, I am a very curious person when it comes to doubts and all. I used to be the person who asks the most doubts. I used to annoy the teacher sometimes with my doubts too. But this is how you should be, you shouldn't keep your doubts to yourself. You need to ask them and get it clarified. So when you read the NCRT, you understand that there is some meaning that's hidden in lines. And sometimes even just one word can change the whole meaning of the sentence. If you don't understand one single meaning, go to your teacher, clarify that. Because sometimes you, suppose you don't understand a certain word, you skip that, you read the rest of the part of the sentence. You get a certain meaning out of it. But what if that word that you didn't understand gives a contrary meaning to that sentence? Can happen, right? So that's why when you read, you know that what exactly is happening. And for social science, NCRT is literally like a storybook. It's just saying about things, and you need to learn it like a story, nothing else. Suppose take the case of a storybook. You take a storybook, you just look at the pictures, you read some 2 lines in this page, go to the next page, 2-3 lines, next page. Are you going to understand everything about the story? Are you able to give a conclusion for the story? No, right? Same thing applies to NCRT of social science as well. If you don't know how the events took place, why did the events take place, and how did they start, how did they end, there are possibilities that the question can be like, give reasons for why this certain movement started, or why this ended in this way and not any other way, or give your opinion about how something else could have ended. So for that, you need to understand what's there. Rote learning won't give you answers for these. Yes, they will give you answers, certain points, 5 mark answer, 3 mark answer. You will go to the exam, write those. But what if you get questions that are based on your opinion? For that, you will have to know what the background of the incidents that took place is. That is why if you know that, you can answer any question. Yeah, about reference books for SST. Well, when I had practiced, I used Oswal, and most of the questions in our board exam came from Oswal directly. So reference books are of great use, and not just that, but the reference book questions have a variety of questions in them, and they have possible answers. Like, what happens in case of NCRT is you write your own answers and there's no one who will check if it's correct or no. But when you use reference books, you know what a standard answer type is, and if you read those, it is not necessary. Like, this is what I had done. I used to read the reference book answers, and sometimes what I used to do is I used to mix up the points and give a certain answer. Like, not definitely the complete opposite meaning ones or something, but yes, I used to mix up answers. I used to take some points from here, from there, mix them together and give out an answer. So if you know some good sentences and you write those in the beginning, that will definitely impress the examiner, and later on as he or she goes checking on the paper, you will probably get good marks if you have a good beginning and a good ending. So since the time is exceeding too much, I'll be making a part 2 of this video. Please move on to that video for getting your answers. Thank you.
Wow.